Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God some motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about, listen, I am you, and you are me. We're all connected. But y'all know, with my channel here, I like to break down how that actually makes sense. And you already know, being in the realm of reality, that's like going into a form of a fluid. That's like a frequency line. Like you can make a triangle or square out of it, and then once it go in something, it becomes round. Now it goes into something, and it can circle, and it becomes a circumference, a circumstance, a situation. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, when we talk about we are all one, that's like a frequency of light going into a pool of water. So yeah, you have your piece of light, but your piece of light is now connected with all the lights, which all together creates a form of a fluid. And then we're all able to experience within that form of a fluid based upon what have been made dense and how what megahertz is it vibrating the frequency at that it can become solid. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, there's a lot of different ways that we're connected. But when we want to talk about realms of realities and portals that you're going through and concepts that you actually can physically see, these things are external, but to a small degree. They're more internal. So when we talk about we're all connected in the yin realm world, we're more connected than we are in the external realm. Like ways that we can express and explain how we connected in the external realm is like things that we do for each other, things that we all share that we know we share externally. Like you're a complete different person than the person you next to, but what y'all share is y'all both people, y'all both humans. So you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that we help each other do. Like we build buildings, we got houses and things of that nature that people are up under. So for that nature itself, that's what allows you to understand how we all connect on an external level. Now, how we all connect on an internal level, as far as your yin body, your dream body, your internal body, a lot of times it doesn't deal with external type of representations, which as far as verbal or actions, a lot of times it just deals with, this is why you can sense a vibe, sense a person's energy based upon their vibration. You know what I'm saying? Based upon a person's vibrations, a person's energy. You know what I'm saying? This is how you pick up that. And you call that from body language, or a person carrying within inside them, and that they choose not to express, but they hold on to it in their inner world. So it still so you may not be able to pinpoint it because they didn't verbally express it or externally did an action for you to pinpoint what you actually picking up, but you still pick it up. So that means your yin body, your yin world, picked up another person's yin world. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you did that in the external realm. But when we all connected, we're more connected in the yin realm. This is why you can feel someone's pain and passion way faster than you can feel someone's excitement, or if they're happy for something. This is why a lot of times negativity is a lot stronger than positivity in this realm of reality. This is why when something bad happens, it holds more influence than when something good's happen, because a lot of times negative is density, and we know when something add weight and density, it comes down, and we know when it brings down, it's more experience. So when something is down, like negativity or something like that, is more experiences involved with it. So people rather experience more of that than lightening your load. You know, the more happy, the more positive something is, the less experience. That's just like when a person has no money, they're in a lesser or they feel like they're in a worse situation than a person with money. So there's a lot more experiences and worries and a lot more things and realms of realities and portals that this person with no money go through other than the person with money. The person with money has less worries, less experiences, less, you know what I'm saying, less things. So you see what I'm saying? It's a less experience type of thing. They don't have to experience all the woes that this person is experiencing. And they can experience more what they want to experience that'll lighten their load more than a person who have to experience things that they don't want to experience, and have to experience more and more things that they don't want to experience in order to feel like they lightening up their load. So aka doing things that they don't want to do, involving themselves with people that they don't want to involve themselves with, working jobs that they don't want to do. More and more experience, you know what I'm saying? Where a person with money has less of that kind of experience. So you see what I'm saying? The person who's broke, the person is not going to feel that attracted or attached to the person with money. Same way and vice versa. So when we want to get to how we're connected, we are connected in the yin realm. So for the most part, we're more connected here. We're all one when we get to the spirit realm. But like I said, that's the frequency realm. That's a whole nother video before I dive into that. But what's most important right now is the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang realm, and which is the vibration. What comes second is the vibration, the fluid, the motion, the emotion, the modes, the realms of reality of the world. After the frequency, that's the vibration. You know what I'm saying? So that's the yin, and then you have the yang, which is the external, was what we can actually see and what's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So what happens here is, for the most part, you know, people try to tie external things, try to point to external references that represent their internal world. So you may travel a lot of places in the internal world, and with your yin body, your dream body, or just your meditation body. That's all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you dream, that's when you actually wake up there. You see what I'm saying? But that's your soul body. So you know what I'm saying? You may travel a lot of places there. Then when you wake up here, I don't know why you think you're sleeping, you're woke. You're both versions of sleep and woke. You know what I'm saying? When you're asleep, when your soul yin body is asleep, that means your yang body is woke. So this is what you're consciously aware of in this world. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times things that represent your yin realm, when that's sleep, you like to point to it in the yang realm. So you get certain people, places, or things, or material things that mean something to you emotionally, that it means something to you in your soul body. Now when you go to sleep here, you wake up in your yin body, right? And then you go to places that may that you represented in the yang realm that you could point to here. You go to those places in the yin realm, and it may look and appear different, but it still represent the same type of things, and you go to those emotions and feelings. So you're both doing a bunch of painting in both realms of reality. You astral projecting, astral traveling always. You know what I'm saying? It's like breath to you, in and out, in and out, in and out. It's breathing. You know what I'm saying? So when we get to the point that when we all connected, now these are things I had to say all that before I got to this, because this is where you need to start understanding what's actually going on now. Now, once we all reach and know thyself and get to a level, we'll all be able to get to that spiritual realm and leave the yin and yang realm and get to the realm of reality of all possibilities realms. You know what I'm saying? And true God and stuff like that. But before we get that, we know it took demigods to control the second realm of reality, which is vibrations, the yin, and then for the yang, for them to coincide with each other. You see what I'm saying? So what happens here is, due to the fact that we know we all connected, we know spiritually we all is one from under the one God. So since we know that vibration still going to have a sense in all realms of realities, it's just going to be so less dense and so less physical. You're not going to be able to see that's what's going on. But you know, that's why I'm here, Archangel Uriel. You know what I'm saying? The higher we get inclined, the more we're going to be able to perceive. The higher we get, the more we're going to be able to perceive. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to get at. Now, you walk into realms of realities and this realms of realities and portals we all know exist that we can't see, but we know we walking into based upon the mechanics and the energies that's going on and the people, places, and things and what they're doing in these orbs. That's just like when you go to work. That's a realm of reality. That's a portal. So the things that's going on with keeping that job going and the people who work there and things of that nature, that's the whole mechanism of that system. You see what I'm saying? But see, we know even when it comes to beings and concepts and spirits, we know there's a high dense and less dense. So you have to understand that there's high and less dense when it comes to realms of realities and portals also. So you can be in a realm of reality and portal before you even go into one that's less dense, that you can actually understand, that you still can't physically see. You see what I'm saying? Then you have even more, like, being in a body is a super physical, dense way of knowing you're in a portal. You're in a realm of reality yourself by being in a body. You're in a physical representation of a spaceship. You see what I'm saying? But then you got portals that we actually can see every day. Like if you're into religion, you're into politics, you're into education, these are portals. You know what I'm saying? That you can actually see. That's not physical. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Then you got higher ones. Now we're gonna get closer and closer. The more and more you watch my videos, we're gonna start getting closer and closer to this Elohim shit and all this shit. Now these realms of realities and concepts and portals is concepts of a little higher and a little less dense. So you may not know you're in certain realms of realities. So now we're going to get into an example so you can know how you know you're in one of these ones. Now, since we know we're all connected, and since you get high enough, you'll know that we're spiritually as one, then 9 times out of 10, you know when you talk to yourself or you're talking to someone else, you're ultimately talking to yourself. It doesn't matter if you're talking to a female, male, elderly person, young person, a dog, or whatever like that. Any type of language you receive, whether it's verbally, externally, internally, or whatever like that, we know ultimately you're talking to yourself. Because your world is your world. That's the world you live in. So when you die, that's when your world died. And when you come back and you come into another realm of existence or whatever like that, that's when you start to experience your world within that realm of reality of whoever created that world. You see what I'm saying? So that's how things go. But you're ultimately always connected, or you wouldn't be able to come here to share an existence with anyone else. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, you know, now that we know in the frequency realm, we really all is one. So since it's so high up there, it's going to play out in ways that you can't really understand and see unless you're spiritually inclined enough, right? Now, reason why I say that is, how do you receive forms of information, and how do you know how you pick up other spirits and things of that nature? We know spirit is frequencies. We know frequencies is forms of light, information, you know what I'm saying, knowledge and wisdom and concept. So your ideas, your thoughts is your spiritual incarnation, is your way of how to logically understand your spirit from this realm of reality of being in a body. But it's so much higher than that. It's just my channel is I'm trying to give you examples of how to pinpoint these things. So we know when you get into your ideas and really get into your mind and your thoughts, we know that's the land of all possibilities. You know, you could think of stuff that you can't physically do right now. We know you could think of, so you know that's the realm of all possibilities. That's a real realm. So that's the realm of oneness. So you can't even have an idea if it wasn't an idea of the one God you in. So that's the one concept. Everybody have access to all ideas, but how they choose to understand these ideas is based upon their piece of their light, their frequency, their spirit, right? So your soul is jumping into the yin realm. Then the yin, the inside, get expressed on the outside, we can become the yang realm, which you can physically express it with your body now, your energy. So now that we know that we all is one, how you receive information from yourself. Since you know you're talking to yourself, now you know you have to be careful of what vibrations and frequencies and what type of spirits and beings you're around now, because the language and the information that you receive is basically you telling yourself this. So this is a key word why I said this, because you have to be careful around being around words of people, a lot of people who like to say F and you. Because we know you, if we're not one, and I can actually say you, that means that's an energy of separateness. That's a frequency and a vibration of separateness. You see what I'm saying? So it's not right or wrong or good or right in this frequency I'm talking about yet. I'm talking about a high spiritual frequency right now. So don't tie this to anything that you see in this realm of reality right now. You know what I'm saying? Just look at it from how I'm trying to express it as an energy. Now, when you listen to a bunch of people or a bunch of shows or a bunch of things of that nature, and they say a lot of the frequency, it don't matter what language, they carry a lot of frequency of F and U. So if they say a bunch of FUs, like, okay, F I did this or F that, or if I would have did this like this, or you this, that, a lot of times, now that's a higher portal right there that you could be aligning yourself in subconsciously, because you're not thinking that deeply or you're not spiritually inclined enough. So the more and more you surround yourself in that frequency energy, it's going to play out in your everyday life in ways that you don't know about. So when it's circumstances when you want to do stuff and you can't actually do it and you don't know why, a lot of times it could be because of that. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand that you're walking in a higher portal that may be leading to your downation that you are unaware of, that you're in that portal because you're not spiritually inclined or high enough to see things, high enough to see that you're actually in a higher state of a portal that may lead you down into less dense portals that you don't necessarily need to be in. And the only reason you may be in those because you don't know that self. So you know, you have to be careful, and it's important to be around a lot of people or listen to a lot of things that say a lot of word frequencies I am. I am, because that's going to tie out into a lot of different things in your life, to the point that you just basically develop yourself into a frequency of saying I am. So these, like, if you think about it, we can do like a poll, and we can have on this side of kids who are raised under the frequency of hearing the words F, U, and no all the time, and kids under these frequencies who grew up under the frequencies of hearing I am and yes all the time. Now there's going to be good and bad. There's a gift and curse into all these frequencies. But on these polls, I guarantee you the level of success of the children who are born under the yes I am frequency, they're going to be way more successful than the kids born under the F, U, and no frequencies. Because see, the kid don't know it. So when the kid is starting to live life and start to get their third eye and chakras calcified and stuff like that, if they was raised up under a frequency where they always hear a person saying F, U, and no, then they're going to develop certain circumstances in their life when they're walking in certain portals that only align themselves to see ways in certain things. So things that they can do, they may not have went in that direction or met a certain group of people that can help them out to learn some things to get in that direction, because they was too busy walking in the force field of, well, if I would have did that, then it wouldn't happen like that. And 9 times out of 10, when you listen to people who always got those words in their mouth, 9 times out of 10, that's why they don't be in them situations. That's why they're in the situations of saying, well, if I had this, or if I would have done that, and that's why I wouldn't, because F this, that's why you did that, and you did this, and you did that, and I would have not did that. 9 times out of 10, people who stayed in those frequencies, 9 times out of 10, that's why they're not in that position. And if you was to break down and get into their life on a psychology level, then you would start to be able to break down the spirits, and maybe the spirits that they was carrying and the spirits that they was around and they upbringing in their life for them to be in that frequency. See, and a lot of times it's not people's fault. A lot of times it's not your fault. It just may be the frequency or the geographical location that you came up under. But if you're spiritually inclined enough, it's never too late. You always find your way out of it. You see what I'm saying? And then look on the flip side of a person who may have came up or always carrying the frequency of I am. And look at the people also, like celebrities and stuff, who keep a lot of these word frequencies in their mouth. That I am, man, and yes, and I never take no for an answer. Yeah, they may have had a bunch of stumbles and falls, but for the most part, they carry a frequency, plus their children carry a frequency of more doing in life, and instead of thinking and analyzing, they do a lot of more actions, a lot more doing. So a lot more doing, a lot more actions is lead to a lot more success. Because when a kid or a person who's carrying a lot of frequency of I am all the time, or I'ma do this, or I'ma do that, even if it's things that you could point at, like, yeah, you said you're gonna do this, but you ain't do that, whatever like that. In time, they're still walking in that portal. So the energies that they're gonna manifest in their life is still gonna come out in ways of, they're gonna be able to show you that they did something. They're going to be able to show you that they is something, because that's the frequency they carrying. See, a lot of times it really don't deal with words. It doesn't matter the language. A lot of times it just matter the energy. And if you're carrying, and a lot of times, like I said, let's do a poll of kids, because kids not even using words, but if they're brought up in the frequency energy of always hearing F and U and no, then compared to the kid who's brought up in the energy of always hearing the I am and no, you could break that down into basic frequencies. The kid who was brought up with always hearing a person say I am about to do something or something like that, in their mind in life, they always feel like they could do something. So this kid is more likely to feel more confident about what they can do. Other than the kid who always hear the F and the U and the no, this kid may grow up kind of feel doubting, like they can't possibly do something. You know what I'm saying? And it may play out in frequencies like that, if y'all get what I'm trying to say. So when I say we all are one, then it's up to you to listen to the right frequencies that's catered to you. Because if you always somewhere listening to something that's telling you not to do something, or always telling you if you do this something to happen, or you keep hearing you, that's a separate energy. I don't care if that person who's telling you this separate energy is positive or not. The frequency and the spirit that they're carrying is negative, because it's carrying a separate energy. And at the end of the day, we all is one. And if this person can sit there and tell you if you something, then 9 times out of 10 it comes from a vibration of judging or self-doubt or something that they can't do, and they're throwing that on you to make you think that you can't do it. So off the back, it's gonna, I don't care how you shape it up, pretty it up, what kind of person this is, what kind of PhD they got, what kind of preacher, well, I don't care how you pretty it up. The energy and the spirit that they're carrying is negative. Point blank, period. And when you spiritually inclined, you're able to see that. And when you compare that to somebody who always in the frequency and the energy of I am and I can and I'm about to do this, then you can see the kids come up in that frequency, and a lot of times they have a lot more confidence and a lot more ability to do things. You see what I'm saying? So, and when you listen to more people who say things like that, that may be the energy that may be a portal that you subconsciously in, that you may just walk yourself in a situation that may benefit you and you ain't even know about it. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch. And we all is one. So it's all up to you to stay in the oneness of your frequency. And anytime you're in a frequency where you feel like you could do something, and then you're around another energy that make it feel like you can't, then that's a separate energy that's trying to separate you from your oneness. And don't let that happen. Archangel Uriel, Flight boss.